Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sarah, and I'll be with you this afternoon talking about the importance of drama in the curriculum. I realise that 3:30 on a Thursday afternoon is probably a difficult time to sit and think about things, but I think you'll find that once we get talking and once we get understanding about why drama is so exciting and it's so wonderful to be a part of creative arts curriculum, that I'm sure you'll be able to take away some things and apply them to your own classroom. I always like to start with a personal story because I think it's really important that you get to know who I am and that you get to understand where I come from. So sit back and let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, we always like to start with once upon a time because that sets the mood for our stories. Once upon a time, there was a young girl who really struggled at school. Maths was a challenge, making friends was a challenge. It was really just, school wasn't a place that she enjoyed going. And she had this wonderful teacher. Her name was Mrs. Johnson, and Mrs. Johnson said to her, "Why don't you try our after school drama program?" And our young girl, we'll call her Rebecca, our young girl was really quite nervous about this because drama for her was not something that she had ever really thought of. And it was scary, the idea of talking in front of people and the idea of thinking about how am I going to stand up in front of everybody and, be a character and do things and be all of these interesting, crazy, wild people. Mrs. Johnson didn't know that Rebecca actually spent time in her room pretending to be different sort of characters. She had this beautiful fantasy world that she just loved to be a part of, and quite often young Rebecca could be found singing into a hairbrush or reciting words in front of a mirror, pretending to be a princess or a queen or someone fantastic. So young Rebecca took this idea of drama and presented it to her parents and said, I don't play a lot of sport and, things like that aren't particularly my forte. I'm sure Rebecca didn't say my forte when she was little, but I'd like to give it a try. Anyway, young Rebecca did after school drama program and found herself just completely enthralled in this life where she could go and she could feel safe and she could feel confident and she could have fun. I think part of the learning experience, particularly when it comes to drama, is that it needs to be fun because drama is fun, right? Like, what's better than standing up and putting on a costume and pretending to be somebody completely different? So Rebecca did after school drama and then decided that perhaps one day she might like to do other things and got a very, very small part in The Wizard of Oz as a munchkin, which was fantastic. Green makeup and spray paint and all things fabulous. The point of the story is this. Once Rebecca started to experience after school drama and started to feel confident that she could take risks and that she could be the kind of person that she was inside, the rest of her school became really quite an interesting process because everything that she did, she thought, I'll just be somebody different. Maths, for example. Rebecca had this really closed mindset. I'm not a maths student. I don't understand maths. But walking into a maths classroom, knowing that she had some skills that she could draw upon, that she could be a confident person, she thought to herself, I'll just play the part. I'll be Rebecca, the mathematician. And then all of a sudden, this closed mindset went to this growth mindset where she was like, well, I can't do it now, but if Rebecca, the mathematician, can do it, then anybody can do it. So I guess my point of the whole thing is this. Drama across the curriculum can really improve a child's confidence. It can help a child think about things in a creative and different and outside of the box kind of way. It gives them the ability to speak publicly, and we all know that in these times, particularly when we want children to be employable and we want them to work through life and we want them to become functioning, successful, happy adults, drama really can allow a child to do that. So I'm going to break it down for you into different categories and hopefully we'll have fun along the way. I've got some fantastic drama games that we're going to play. And look, one of the things I say to my drama students when I teach drama and also to the teachers that I work with is that you need to feel safe to take risks, particularly when it comes to drama games. And if you don't feel safe, you're not going to participate. But I also say this, I don't want people to feel like they must do something until they're completely ready to do that. And so for me, drama is the kind of experience that you can watch and gain some really interesting knowledge, but it's also something you can participate in. And it doesn't necessarily have to be performance. I've had many students who come to me and say, hey, Miss Purdue, don't love drama, but I love building stuff. So in my head, I think to myself, okay, so how can I incorporate this? I know, we'll design some sets or we'll design some props. Really, really interesting to watch these children go from, I can't do this, to, hey, look what I've built. And to be perfectly honest with you, I've had so many students teach me a few things along the way. 3 years ago, I had no idea how to operate a lighting desk. And because of some fabulous students who are really technically savvy, I now know how to basically operate a lighting desk. I couldn't light Phantom of the Opera or anything, but I could, maybe set a little bit of mood. So let's talk about the first thing that I think drama is really important for, and that's team building. When you have a classroom, and we've all been there, we've all been in a situation where we walk in, it's day one, it's term one, and we have 25 students who don't know each other. I'm sure lots of people think, how am I going to build an environment that's safe and supportive and fun? You really set the scene, I think, for a student's learning first day one, term one. So drama in itself requires so much team building. Lots of these games that I have Zip Zap Zoom, which is a circle game. I have a name game, which is so great to get these kids to get to know each other and have fun along the way. So when we come to that day one, term one situation, what better way to implement a beautiful day of team building where we set up that environment positively from the minute they walk into the classroom, and we say, hey guys, let's sit in a circle, nobody's at the head of the table, I'm not standing out the front being the teacher telling you what to do, I'm going to sit in the circle with you, and we're just going to get to know each other. I think the fundamental fact is that human relationships are based on feeling trust and getting to know each other. And I think drama really does that. So drama games are super important. So what I would like to do, if everyone's feeling comfortable and happy and awake, I'd love to be able to play some drama games, just 1 or 2 basic team building games, so you get the feel of how you can translate what you're learning here with me into the classroom, and then say, yeah, I've got a few things in my toolbox that I can pull out day one, term one, minute one. Okay, so that was great. We all had such a great time doing that, and thank you so much for your participation. That was a lot of fun. So what we did was the name game, which is the clapping and the rhythm. And again, this helps a lot of children who may not be necessarily learners that require lots of sitting still. With rhythm and with music, a lot of things can really get put into the mind, and they can go, oh, okay, now I know that person's name, because when I played drama with Mrs. Smith, on the first clap it was John, and then it was Michael, and so that's the first one that we played. Bang Duck is a really fun game because it gives the opportunity for kids to, have healthy competition, but also in a fun and interesting way. And they get, as I showed you, they get to dictate those rules, and they get to say, I think this is how we should end the game, or I think this is how we should end the game. So it gives them a real sense of ownership of what they're participating in, which is fantastic. That's exactly what you want. You want ownership in the classroom, not only from you as the teacher, but also from the students. It's really important to remember that a successful classroom blends the line between learner and educator, and there are many things that young children can teach you, apart from the fact of just letting go and being in the moment and having fun and going, hey, this is an amazing experience. So what I think we might do right now, let's take a 5 or 10 minute break, get some water, stretch our legs, really important to do that. Ask me any questions that you want while we're having a break, go to the bathroom, and then when we come back, what I would really love to do is talk to you about cross-curricular activities and how things like science and math and English in particular can be really transferred with drama, and we can take that knowledge from being kind of here to being that really embedded knowledge right deep into the child, where they can take it off and they can explore learning outside of the classroom. And that's what we want. So let's take a break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about drama and the cross curriculum. Thanks.